Hi, I'm Liana. And I'm Ellie. Zaha Hadid was described by The Guardian of London as the Queen of the Curve, became the first and only Iraqi British woman architect to be awarded the Royal Gold Medal from the Royal Institute of British Architects in 2015.
In the last 10 years, there's been a very, ambitious project by many cities. Architecture became really a way to represent cities. Therefore, the ambition has heightened.
But have you ever wondered how architects work? Let me take you to an architect's firm and see what architects do.
So at SPT Architect, we use design phase to develop a successful project. In order to build a successful project, the design process is divided into phases to ensure smart decision. This includes programming, conceptual design, schematic design, design development, construction documentation, construction administration, and project closeout.
So the job of the architects has always been to provide a shelter from the elements. And what about the learning of architecture? With me is Senior Lecturer Encik Muhammad Hatta. Encik Hatta, could you tell us about Design 4 learning?
Design 4 is a core and the most dominant subject in architectural course. We apply integrated design approach where all other supporting architectural subjects are normally organized to provide contribution towards Design 4 learning. To ensure effective learning, these students will go through design process just like the architect do in the real world.
In this video, we are going to experience how Design Studio serves as a setting for experiential learning through embedded activities such as case and problem-based studies, guided inquiry and simulations to keep in pace with the rapid changes. These students from Semester 6 Diploma Architecture Program were given the task to design a homeless shelter in Ipoh. In this project, students will develop their knowledge, skills, and values from direct experiences outside a traditional academic setting. Now, what are the requirements that these young designers have to fulfill?
Their design must meet the needs of this temporary disadvantaged population. The design should create a conducive tension shelter that could provide the much needed communal temporary relief for the homeless. It should also provide good comfort, easy and low maintenance, good usage of sustainable building materials, environmentally friendly and low energy, durable and capable of lasting.
How do these students figure out the needs and find solutions to design problems? Initially, to enable students to understand the context of the proposed building, they were given a real site. Students conduct site inventory, present the site study, and discuss the site's potentials in groups. At this stage, they studied the compatibility at the site. By working in team, students enhance critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Before they can draw up the plans for the building they are designing, they have to think about what the building will be used for. And to really understand the needs of their clients, the students took a field trip to the Pusat Transit Gelandangan, Kuala Lumpur. By doing the precedent study at Pusat Transit Gelandangan, they see, feel, touch, and walk through something similar to what they are designing. They observe how the homeless are using spaces and experience how different spaces feel. They interviewed the patrons of the shelter and learn more about social issues, the root causes, and potential solutions.
Malam hari saya tidur tak tentu lah. Tidur dekat luar lah.
The visit had also promotes civic engagement and social awareness as well as responsibilities. To share and understand the emotions of the homeless and the way they live, which is an important element to be inculcated into design, these students organize the Feed Homeless CSR program. They collaborate with Surau Al-Hidayah and Dapur Jalanan Ipoh, an NGO which provide food for Ipoh homeless community every fortnight. Their empathy study starts with cooking for the homeless at Surau Al-Hidayah. Then, they immerse themselves as volunteers to feed the homeless at Medan Selera, Datuk Sago, Ipoh. This role-playing task not only enabled them to collaborate with the NGO, but also develop and fine-tune their communication and leadership skills. The event also gives them opportunity to meet interesting people and expand networks. Furthermore, they also build connections that can potentially lead to future employment. By running and managing the event, students recognize their own integral role in the growth of their community. Next, let's go to Creativity Land, where the students have to create something from their own imagination in response to the problems given. They have to address all the issues and figure out what is beneficial for the homeless, and taking into account the basic architectural design considerations. All information gathered will be analyzed and evaluated, compared and contrasted to generate possibilities before they can come up with design options. At this phase, students develop ideas through architectural sketches, scale drawings, and models. The design process enhances their critical thinking and problem-solving skills. To prepare students for a more complex life and working environment, 21st century skills has been combined with traditional studio methods. Technology, such as e-learning, is incorporated into the studio experiences. Knowledge of design is communicated to the student through critics in studio. Tacit knowledge is passed on. Architects were invited during the final critics session to share new perspectives and give insights to students. Critic sessions enable students to develop their abilities to communicate design concepts to the audience and to learn through giving and receiving constructive critique. The experience of designing the homeless shelter has promoted and inspires learning. The design project also focused on the application of the curriculum in an authentic learning experience, as well as on development of 21st century competencies, including skills and knowledge in collaboration, communication, critical and creative thinking, and also problem solving. The studio acts as a testing ground for the real world has reduced the gap between knowledge and acquiring of relevant skills in job. Do you think the design project inspired your learning?
Of course, this project has taught me the reality of homelessness across our nation. The way that they live, there's no shelter, there's no safety, and there's no privacy.
According to Malaysia Education Blueprint, higher education, there will be an increase in demand for an additional 1.3 million TVET workers by 2020. In the 12 National Key Economics Areas, NKEA identified under the government's Economic Transformation Program, ETP. Hence, this active experiential learning have enabled the architecture students from Polytechnic Ungku Omar to explore and develop learning skills, literacy skills, and life skills in order to succeed in the era of information. As a conclusion, Design 4 is a comprehensive review and the synthesis of the architecture curriculum. The course is designed for students to work on complex projects independently and develop leadership skills in team settings. Wow, that's very interesting, Ellie. Hopefully, this video has given some insight on Design 4.